church has been here for the last 150 years, serving this community of tribal warriors through healthcare, in education, and anything else that God has allowed us to do. And we deem it a privilege that God allows us to serve these people in this way by loving and caring them. And the phrase I often use of our presence here is that we are trying to reenact God's love as we have experienced in Jesus Christ amongst these tribal people.
उसने फिर उसके बाद सारा छोड़ दिया, पंजाब चला गया और अभी वो खुल के पंजाब गवाही दे रहा है। ये मैंने उस दिन बात की थी, लेकिन वहाँ भी उसने खुल के गवाही दी और कुछ लोगों ने उसको गले में रस्सा बांध के लटका के मारा और उसके ऊपर लिख दिया मुर्तद की सज़ा, और वो 20 मार्च 2003 को शहीद हो चुका है।
Well, this is not the West, it's the East. The face of a suffering God is totally alien to Islam. And because suffering is so much ingrained in human situations, when I see a face of a suffering God, I feel myself released from that suffering, because who am I? God suffers, who am I? In a country like ours, in Pakistan, where 95 to 97% majority people are Muslims, our only survival is if we are known as Christians rather than as known by our denominations. The Church of God is always about looking for new frontiers. This province is known as the Northwest Frontier Province, and our endeavor is to cross those frontiers and be the frontiers people for God. And other side of the mountains, of course, is the beginning of Central Asia and Afghanistan. The life of Christian community in Pakistan has been a rather difficult journey so far, because Pakistan, as we all know, was created on the basis of religious identity. Since then, it has been a struggle of defining ourselves and the whole issue of acceptance as equal citizens. The members of my community earn their living through menial works. It usually is street cleaning. That also means carrying human excrements in their hands. And their children could well be scavenging in open sewages. We are not a church for the poor, but we are truly a church of the poor. This is quite palatial as things go. And but But what I keep on saying that this is in the setting of the best campus in the city, the university campus. And we are walking towards, I think, the filthiest sewage that you can see anywhere. And one just wonders, why can't life be better, and why can't we treat human beings better than that? I want you to look at this sewage, because I believe this is absolutely disgusting when our little children and our people breathe and live beside what has to be a complete health hazard. And yet nobody seems to bother about this. Good evening, God bless. Shabash, shabash, shabash. People would say that they are the menial workers, they are the scum of the earth, they are the lowest of the lowest. And I know I've heard people say, oh, this has nothing to do with religion, but for God's sake, it's a catch-22 situation. How do we get rid of it? Unless our people have better jobs, better economic and social status, they will always end up in places like this. And yet here is the Gehenna of Jerusalem, where all the rubbish is dumped, and our people are made to live here because they are who they are.
People, they don't have enough space in their room, maybe barely a small room where almost 20, 30, 40 people might be living. And they can't get up the ladder just because they have chosen the faith to be Christian. If today they say that I am Muslim, immediately they will get a better house, they will get better job, they will get better state of life, improve their life instantly. But faith to them means so much that, they still want to cling to that Jesus Christ, for whom they want to live their life and be a witness here amongst the Muslims.
There is a destination, but then there are many ways to reach that destination. And in Islam, Jesus Christ was a prophet sent by God for the guidance of the humanity, and he was a prophet. Without faith in him, the belief of a Muslim is not complete. If any Muslim does not believe in Jesus Christ as a prophet, he is not recognized as a Muslim. It is an integral part of our belief.
This God, whom we call by different names and through different traditions, is a God who belongs to us all equally. It's a God who owns all of us equally. It's a God who loves us equally. And when we begin to split God, we split ourselves. One of my most favorite utterances is that of St. Francis of Assisi, when he is purported to have said to his disciples, "Go and preach, use words if necessary."
He is blind at this moment, but the next day after the cataract surgery, he can see the world with the grace of God. This is the best way for Christian evangelism. This is the best way. I think this is a silence preaching, we can say. From our words, with our work, we can tell them, okay, what is the message of Jesus. And definitely in Christian hospital, they have best treatment as compared to outside.
These are not institutions. These are diaconia places of service and love. 90+% of the patients here are from the majority community, and they come seeking this place because one always hears through them that this is a place where they are given love and care in abundance.
We can tell them the Jesus message. We have the books there. Patients used to ask, like in my office, there is a big Jesus photograph, and people used to ask, who is he? And from where you have taken the photographs? And there's a one verse that's written here, that Jesus is the light of the world. And they used to ask, well, how it is. Here they listen us, but outside they will never listen us.
My family and I live in the cathedral compound in Peshawar. I'm always reminded that my predecessor was kidnapped some years ago, and that seems to still linger on. But I normally never ever travel with security guards because I feel that that's unacceptable to me. Part of my responsibility is to visit my people regularly in this widespread diocese. For example, I go to Bannu very often, which has been one of our major areas of engagement with the fundamental Islam. Bannu is one of the ancient cities on this border, and it's very close to the Afghanistan area, and some of the very militant and tribal people live here. And as you can see, today it's Friday, and this is a market day and a prayer day. And this is why we have these crowds here, selling and buying, and then going for their Friday prayers. But these are very proud and robust people. And church has been here for the last 150 years, serving this community of tribal warriors through healthcare, in education, and anything else that God has allowed us to do. And we deem it a privilege that God allows us to serve these people in this way by loving and caring them. And the phrase I often use of our presence here is that we are trying to reenact God's love as we have experienced in Jesus Christ amongst these tribal people.
It's difficult to speak to them about our faith. We can do this through our work. To be principal of a Christian school and having both communities, Muslim community and Christian community, and also Hindu communities, I think it's a very nice opportunity to share what we do. And it's also for both communities it's very good, because this is the way through which we are coming closer. Because unless we do not talk to each other, we have our differences and we cannot speak, we have disputes. But if we have time to discuss with each other, we have time to share with each other, then we can discuss our differences as well to produce a better environment.
We had a church here for well over 100 years, a small church in the traditional Gothic style. But lately we began to feel that it's not big enough. And there was a new spirit within the congregation, almost a revival type of feeling. And with a lot of enthusiasm, it began to be identified that the church must be expanded. A kind of inner feeling began to emerge that why not build a church building in Pakistan which reclaims the Byzantine architecture. A church building which we are trying to build anew must have a new symbolic value for this region.
Panel Memorial Hospital has a great name in this region, and I should say in Frontier Province. This hospital has a history of about 150 years, and this was the only health unit which provided public health and even surgeries. And most of the people here in Bannu were born in this hospital. For the Christians here, about 250 families in Bannu, this is the only place and Panel Memorial School where they can work and give witness and earn their bread and butter.
The irony of our presence here is that if we were to measure it simply in kind of financial terms or investment terms, we have had very bad returns. After spending millions of rupees over 150 years, if I can count 10 converted people of this tribe and of this ethnicity towards Christianity, I would be jumping with joy. But then the question is that what Christian service is all about? Is it a bargain that if we invest we will get so many Christians? Certainly not, because our investment is for God's kingdom, and these people are as much part of God's kingdom as we are. And this service, I must say 98% of the patients who are served here are of majority Muslim faith, at times very hostile to the very name Christian. But when it comes to a place like this, they recognize that these people care for us, clean our wounds, and love us. They want us to continue to do this in the days to come. There's always a sign of hope and a ray of light. यतीम नहीं है कि आपसे तहफ़्फ़ुज़ की भीख मांगे, वो अल्लाह देता. God gives that protection. But I said what I would expect from my community of you, that you treat us as a good Muslim would treat another person of faith.
The very difficult situation of the American attacks against Afghanistan and then against Iraq. No question, no even feelings, minute feelings of any bitterness between the Muslim community and the Christian community ever appeared. And if it happens, I assure you that the Muslims will come and they will be in the forefront to protect the churches and the Christian community. There is no question of it.
Behind this door, there lives our Christian brothers and sisters in this squalor condition. है ना? और आप तो मुसलमान होने नहीं मांगते? नहीं। कभी चेंज कर लोगे? मुसलमान होने से तो आपको थोड़ा बहुत कुछ मिल जाएगा।
नहीं, हम इस तरह नहीं कर सकते। हम तो इससे ज़्यादा भी गरीबी आ जाए ना, हमें खाने को भी ना मिले तो हम नहीं होंगे।
They're saying that we can't do this thing at all because, you know, even if we don't get something to eat, we will still not change. We have strong faith in our Christianity and we can't change into Muslim. I can't take that religion as my religion because I believe in Jesus Christ, and even if I have to go through more hardship, I will never change.
They won't get any decent jobs. I mean, they can be PhDs, but still the majority community will deny them that privilege. But our hope is that small entrepreneurial programs would build them up into communities who can earn their living without seeking jobs, and yet support each other and their whole community. Our effort, attempt, prayer, all the endeavor is that if there are more of these, then I'm sure could turn the community around in terms of sustaining the poorest of the poor. One of the great joys of being here is to see and realize that Christian faith is still moving forward. There are more young people coming to the faith than we ever recognize.
May God give us the grace to be His witness till the end of our life. And even if it costs our life, I think we'll be for Him the witness that He wants us to be.
The passion is about the task that lies ahead. The task is that we must be reconciled people. I want to embrace them as my people, as God's people. And through our service, we hope that the door to reconciliation would always be available, would always be open, so that they can say somebody loves us, and we can say, yes, in spite of the differences, they are still part of us.